let's transition. That's week 7. All right. So last topic of the day, I believe it is so Caleb Williams. He we talked about Caleb Williams last week.
Yes, we did.
Then Notre Dame game happened and he wet the bed. He was awful. He missed some throws. He threw 3 interceptions, I believe, in the first half. It was bad. I watched that game. The offensive line was just getting absolutely thrown around. Like, it was bad. It was an all-time ugly performance. I expected this. I knew that USC was eventually going to get theirs because of the way they looked against Colorado and the way they looked against Arizona. But I don't want to speak about the team. I want to speak about Caleb Williams specifically because all I've heard since the start of the season is that Caleb Williams is a generational prospect. Caleb Williams, best prospect since Luck, better prospect than Trevor Lawrence, right? And so then something happened because of that performance. There's some people that are saying, "Oh, Caleb Williams is QB2 now." Like Drake May is QB1. And I have to say this because I feel like now people are being a bit they're they need to slow down a little bit. Okay. Yes, he had a bad game. Yes, it was terrible. But let's slow down a little bit. Yes, Drake May is a fantastic prospect. He's a fantastic talent. But I think that when it comes to QB evaluation, we need to be careful because when we look at both situations, by far Drake May has a better situation than Caleb Williams. Yes, he has Lincoln Riley, but Drake May has Mac Brown, who's a damn good head coach, who's won a national championship. Let's not forget, Mac Brown was the coach that coached Texas, who beat the UFC with Reggie Bush, with Matt Leinart, and that team. Let's not forget who Mac Brown is. Mac Brown is a hell of a coach. And all I've heard is, oh,
Wasn't Keyshawn on that team? Or was
Keyshawn
that way
Johnson. No,
before that?
no, no, no. This
That
is
was way
this is way
before. Yeah, that
after.
was way
This is
before.
way after. Yeah,
Yeah, way after.
this is '06. Keyshawn was like 97. No, 90, 96, 95, around that range. Because I think he came out around the same time as Kobe Bryant was getting drafted. Because I remember they did a commercial
Yeah,
together.
you're right.
Yeah,
Because yeah, he did play around the back end of Dion and them career.
yeah, yeah. So my thing here's my thing. QB evaluation is such a tricky thing to really do. Like I always laugh at when people try, like normal people like you and me on Twitter trying to evaluate QBs because there's so much that goes into evaluating a QB. It can be situation, it could be how much talent do they have around them, coaching, uh are they in an offense where they're asked to play in structure? Are they in an offense where they are pretty much out of structure? Like one of the criticisms I heard about Caleb Williams is that he plays a lot out of structure. Like he's never and what does that even mean? Like that's another thing. People use these terms and don't like explain what they mean. And that's where things get a bit confusing. Like, what does it mean to play in structure? What does it mean when a quarterback is what is a one-step drop? What is a two-step drop? Three-step, four-step, five-step drop? Like, what does all of these terms mean? And they just use these terms willy loosely. And I'm like, do y'all even know what that even means? So what I'm trying to get is that we need to be careful when it comes to evaluating these QB prospects and to all of a sudden writing them off of one bad game. What is your thoughts on that?
Um, I have my concerns about Caleb Williams, but to say that Drake May has just jumped him as QB1, I don't agree with that at all. Caleb Williams is still good. He's doing stuff that's phenomenal on the football field. But I do have some interesting stats about this, about Caleb Williams' performances against top ranked defenses. It says Caleb Williams. I sent this tweet in the group chat the other day, but it says Caleb Williams against elite defenses so far, defenses that finished ranked in the top 20 in points allowed per game. 3 games, 6 turnovers, 20 sacks, 55.7 passer rating, 54.4% completion percentage, and 0-3. These are not good stats by any means necessary. He's when it comes to playing against top defenses, he just shrivels up and he's prone to make more turnovers because that's his style of play. So if people wanted to make the argument of the structure versus off script stuff, they could bring up these games as examples because a top 20 defense in the college football is still considerably worse than any NFL defense. So if they wanted to bring that up in that aspect, then they could draw and connect the dots between those 2 points. But I agree, people are just saying stuff without just because they heard some other analyst say or some other person that knows they think they know QB play say it. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. The discourse is getting nasty because and it's only going to get worse because the USC schedule coming up is even tougher. I forgot who they play today. They play
Um,
it's
I
it's not
don't know.
Utah, is it?
They might have a bye. They could have a bye.
Let me see.
Let me see.
They play they play Utah. Yeah, Utah.
Ooh, wait. I mean, Utah.
So
They could probably beat. They could beat them, but because
I think USC can beat Utah, but if Caleb doesn't look good, then it's going to be some real agendas, nasty agendas being pushed. So yeah, man, it's just
mm-hmm.
I think it's getting disingenuous at this. But I think people want to be so right about QB play that when anything they could just grasp onto anything to
Mm-hmm.
to avoid a Zach Wilson situation when everything tells you that this is not another Zach Wilson situation.
Right. And then I think another thing is, yes, Lincoln Riley is his head coach. We have to remember that Caleb Williams doesn't have the greatest talent around him. Like at Oklahoma, when Kyler was at his peak, when Baker Mayfield was at his peak, these guys had offensive weapons all around him. I mean, Baker Mayfield had Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown. He had CD Lamb. He had Mark Andrews. He had a really good running game. He had Samaje P. Ryan. He had Joe Mixon. Nah, Joe Mixon was with Bama. No, was he? Was no, he was with Oklahoma. Excuse me, he was Oklahoma. I was thinking of Josh Jacobs. Joe Mixon. He had Joe Mixon. He had all these different guys at Oklahoma. When you look at Caleb Williams, he comes around. Okay, they got Jordan Addison at USC, but that's about it. I mean, everybody else can. He does have the Rice, Jerry Rice's son, right? He does have him, but how talented is he for real? For real, like he's not CD Lamb, he's not Marquise Brown level of talent, and so. I think another thing that people are not looking at is the talent level and the fact that USC might just not be that talented. Maybe Caleb Williams is just making them look so good that you think they have talent, but really they don't. Like Oklahoma had one of the best offensive lines when Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield was there. Like their offensive line was phenomenal. At UFC, they're still trying to build this up. They have to remember this is the second year that Lincoln Riley has coached USC. Like USC was not good before Lincoln Riley. So they're still trying to rebuild on the fly. Colorado, like we look at Colorado and they don't have no talent, right? And look at them. And so Lincoln Riley is doing exponentially better than what Deion Sanders has been doing for Colorado. And it's just their talent, they just don't have it yet. And I think that's part of the problem why you look at USC and like, man, they should be, Caleb Williams should be better. Maybe another reason is because he don't have the talent around him. And no, Jordan Addison is not on the team no more. And that could be a big problem. But I will say that Caleb Williams is not this generational prospect like all these people are saying that he is. He has a he has flaws. He has major flaws. And I feel like a lot of these people should be ashamed of themselves trying to put all this pressure on his shoulders when he shouldn't have that. We should just let him play. Like, why are we doing this? How you feel about that?
I mean, he doesn't really help his case that it's coming out that he's asking for a stake in the team that drafts him.
Mm,
And in that interview he had the other day with regarding the Notre Dame fan that came and was taking a selfie with him, selfie video or whatever with him, doing the whole lion sheep. Can we stop doing the lion and sheep crap? Like, come on, this is getting ridiculous. Like, you're a college athlete for crying out. Like, relax,
mm-hmm.
relax. But yeah, it just comes with
Territory.
the yeah. You just gotta deal with it. Now it's crazy because I think it's also because this it's there's guys who's playing just as good as Caleb Williams out there.
Not better.
You got huh?
If not better.
But just as good. And once that happens, people start putting that microscope on them like maybe we could take a risk on this guy instead of banking our whole future on this number overall pick finally hitting. Like Michael Penix is out there playing good football. Dylan Gabriel's playing good football. Jaden Daniels turned it around as playing. LSU offense might be the best in the whole college football because they putting up 40 a game pretty much. Uh, you got Drake May out there playing good football. There's a lot of good QB play across the college football atmosphere. So yeah, I think that also goes into him being more scrutinized compared to like the previous years where everyone was like, "Oh, this kid's a phenom, he's everything." But you know how people get in the final year when they're about to come out of draft. They did it with Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. They didn't do it. They did it to C.J. Stroud like
They did.
after.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did it to C.J. Stroud. They did it to all the QBs when in their final year. They start get super critical and fake QB scouty about it. So it is what it is.
One thing I'll say because Michael Penix, like God bless him, I wouldn't draft Michael Penix. Not with that injury history.
Why?
You
Oh,
heard?
okay.
Oh, the injury history. I'm not drafting a QB that has injury history, major injury history. Like that's just me. That's a no. I don't care how good he looked. Um, see. Here's the thing, because both of us we're growing, we're still learning when it comes to QB evaluation. Like the stuff that I didn't know back in 2021, I do know now. So back when I was, I was high on Tua, I was high on Justin Fields, but see, I didn't know some of the things that I know now about QB evaluation. Now, Tua, he looks pretty solid right now. Justin Fields, he showed some promise. Maybe if he goes to a different situation, he'll probably perform better. But we're still learning. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at this field, and I assume you probably wouldn't say you're expert at the field either. But at the same, so we're gonna make mistakes. But I try to be fair in my evaluation. I try to not act like I know every damn thing about QB evaluation. Like all these people on Twitter think they know about QB evaluation and stuff like that. So just because you watch QB School and all these different YouTube channels and stuff like that doesn't mean you don't know anything about evaluating a quarterback. And so I just look at all these different quarterbacks and they all have flaws. There's no generational QB. Let's just because you have Mahomes traits doesn't mean you're going to be Mahomes. Uh, I think that I Andrew Luck. Have you seen his Have you seen his evaluation when he came out of college,
No, I haven't.
bruh? I've never seen an evaluation like Andrew Luck. I say that because he had next to no flaws. It's silly how just almost perfect his evaluation was. Like his strength and his weaknesses. It's just funny. Like go just on your free time, just go search up Andrew Luck draft profile, and you're gonna be like, "What? That is a damn near perfect draft profile for a QB." So yeah, Caleb Williams just pump the brakes. Drake May has a lot more help. He wasn't perfect at the beginning of the season. Once he finally got Tez Walker, who was I think he was a 4-star transfer prospect, he started hooping a lot better. So pump the brakes when it comes to QBs. We'll revisit this after the end of the season, obviously, but for right now, I still have Caleb Williams QB1. He does have some flaws, but so do these other QBs. Same thing
Yeah,
else you
that's
want to
where I'm
say?
at with it too.
Oh, okay.
No, I think we touched pretty much on what needed to be said. So
All right. Well, that'll do it on this long episode of the Courtside View podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well. And man, there's some good college football games today. But yeah, we'll see you
too
guys on
bad
it.
I won't be seeing them.
Oh man, that's crazy. Ohio State versus Penn State. Um, there's some other games as well that I'm forgetting, but man, there's some good games on today. All right, but make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Courtside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. Peace.